Now, remember back a number of weeks ago, there was a clash that happened in Amsterdam. You had Israelis who flew into Amsterdam to cheer on their team, Tel Aviv Maccabi, or Maccabi Tel Aviv, however it's said. And these a number of these soccer fans, these Israeli soccer fans, were in fact soccer hooligans who acted like thugs, and they would clash with Muslims in Amsterdam. And this happened some time ago, and it was a big story. It was one of the biggest stories out. It wasn't a few weeks ago. It was more like, what was it, like a month ago or so? A couple of months ago. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a while back ago, but it still was recent. And the Israelis fought with the Muslims, and the Muslims consisted of people who were Palestinian, North African, and Turkish, but I think it was mainly North Africans. And it was pretty bloody, and a lot of the Israelis fled and they ran away, and a lot of them were beaten up. Some of them were so terrified that they said, "Hey, I'll give you money if you don't beat me up." Or some of them were so terrified that they would scream "Free Palestine" just to get these Muslim guys away from them. And so it says here, very interesting. So when the whole thing was happening and after it happened, there was a lot of talk from the pro-Israel people saying, "Hey, this was a pogrom, right? They attacked Jews. This was just like something that happened in Europe in the mid 20th century and earlier than that. It was what happened in Amsterdam harkens back to the past, where you had a lot of anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish pogroms." And then you had the other side, and the other side was saying, "No, what happened was the Israeli soccer fans attacked people. We fought back and we beat them up." You see what I mean? So, which narrative is correct is the question. And I think that there's truth in both sides. It's one of those things where the truth is somewhere in the middle. But I will say, and this is going to anger people who are pro-Israel, what I will say is that the Israelis were the ones who acted violently first. And this is what this article demonstrates, that the Israeli soccer thugs drew first blood. And that act of violence sparked a whole bunch of anger. And a lot of angry people, mainly taxi cab drivers, came out and attacked these soccer fans. Now, were all of the soccer fans from Israel hooligans, and were they violent? No. There were some people who came with their kids and they were attacked, because the problem was that the pro-Palestine guys, they started attacking people almost indiscriminately. Or I should say indiscriminately. As long as you were Jewish, you were seen as free game. And so they were going to people and they were saying, "Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish?" So were all these Israeli soccer fans good people? No, a lot of them were assholes, let's be real. And a lot of them were violent. But were they all that way? No. And was it a case of just people getting up and saying, "Let's go attack Jews"? Not exactly. It was a case of Jewish soccer fans being violent, and then pro-Palestine people saying, "Okay, they want to play that game, let's be violent to them." And they started attacking Jewish people, Israelis. So this article really sets the record straight. It is kind of long, but I highlighted various parts so that we don't have to read the whole thing. So it says here that Israeli fans who spoke with the Post said they knew anti-war sentiment was high and that Europe... Hold on. No. Sorry. Let's start earlier. A shaky camera follows a group of men running down the street. Some are wearing the blue and yellow of Tel Aviv's Maccabi soccer team, which had just lost a match to the local Ajax Amsterdam squad. The person recording booms in Dutch. "Cancer Jews, run! Cancer Jews, run! Dirty cancer Jews! dirty cancer Jews, right? So this is what they were screaming. I mean, this is Hitlerian rhetoric. Let's be real here. In another video recorded at the same moment on a parallel street, a group of around 50 people, several of whom are wearing Maccabee colors, can be seen charging in the direction of the altercation. Some of them are wielding metal poles like weapons, which flash silver beneath the street lamps. Israeli officials have characterized it as a premeditated pogrom, reminiscent of the darkest days of Jewish persecution in Europe. By the time the events surrounding the November 7th soccer match were over, 5 Israelis had been sent to hospitals and 20 to 30 people had sustained minor injuries, according to Dutch officials. But a Washington Post review of more than 100 videos, WhatsApp and Telegram chats, and interviews with more than 30 witnesses found that neither of the dominant narratives accurately reflect how the violence unfolded. There was some planned coordination among taxi drivers and other locals who used messaging apps to organize a show of force, with at least one chat referring to a Jew hunt. So they're saying, let's go hunt cancer Jews. I mean, it's Hitlerian. Let's be real here. But what sparked this whole thing, we're going to find out. So it says here that those conversations took place after, and in many cases in response to, episodes the night before the match, when Maccabee supporters pulled down a Palestinian flag and damaged a taxi. Neither the Post nor Dutch investigators came across plans for orchestrated violence in the days ahead of the match. So there really is no evidence of a planned pogrom against the Jews before, or a planned and coordinated attack against the Israeli fans before the Israelis pulled down the flag and attacked a taxi cab driver. Once they attacked the taxi cab driver, then you start seeing these WhatsApp messages coming out, basically coordinating an attack on the Israeli fans. Okay, you keep saying Benjamin owns AIPAC. I don't know why you keep repeating yourself, but I'm just going to ask you to not spam my chat. I hate when people spam my chat. The Post found that the violence that unfolded was not one-sided. Israeli fans were harassed, chased, and in some cases beaten. But video of one of the earliest post-match altercations shared by multiple news organizations as an example of attacks on Israelis, in fact shows Maccabee supporters as the aggressors. And there was a part here. Did I skip the part? Hold on. There was a part that talked about the attack on the... Yep, here it is. So it says here that the first major... So here we go. The first major confrontations took place around midnight before match day, well ahead of that deployment. More than 50 people, mostly men, clad in black with face coverings, chanted expletives about Palestine. So these were the pro-Israel hooligans, and they were screaming F Arabs, whatever, F Palestine. A person wearing a mask with blue and yellow, the Maccabee colors, ripped a Palestinian flag off a building while activists barricaded themselves inside, according to video and witness testimony. So you can see the video here. They are pulling down the flag. And here's the problem is you have these Israeli nationalists who go to different countries, and they have, this is the problem, and I wish more Israelis would sort of acknowledge this, is they go to different countries and they see, okay, a lot of people here are pro-Palestine. And they think, let's act violent, let's act aggressive, let's act loud and obnoxious, let's push our weight around here because we're the best. We're on top. And this is how a lot of these people think. It's how all of these Israeli nationalists think. We're the best. We can do what we want. We're in a different country. Let's do what we want. So the complaints that people make against foreigners from the Middle East, Muslim people, Arab people, those complaints can also be said about these Israeli soccer fans. They go to a different country. They begin to bring their nationalism with them. They start acting violent. They start acting aggressive. And they're in a different country. You can do that in Israel and get away with it, but you're not in Israel. This is a European country, a Western country. So this is the problem, is that they come in and they have this superiority complex, and they think we can do what we want. We can act obnoxious. We can pull down flags. So it says here, more than 50 people, mostly men, clad in black with face coverings, chanted expletives, etc., etc. So they ripped the Palestinian flag. Then it says, less than an hour later, a taxi pulled into the intersection in front of the same building. Dashboard camera video obtained by the Post shows the driver yelling in broken English, "You are gangster," at Maccabi supporters in the road. Some of the fans began to hit his vehicle, striking it at least 12 times. My computer's acting slow. Let me just make sure. Let me just wait for my computer to... I don't know why my computer's acting slow. It shouldn't be acting slow. Hate when this happens. Some of the fans began to hit his vehicle, striking it at least 12 times according to the recorded audio. Some tried to enter the car, according to Adem Chatbas, the lawyer of the driver, who shared photos of windshield damage and dents on the side. The driver declined a post-interview request. As the driver pulled away, he could be heard saying in Dutch, "Hey yo, bro, they hit my whole car," etc. Here is the video. You can clearly see... Let me turn my music off. You can clearly see an attack on the car by the Israeli fans. And you can see here, let's just play it real quick.
Hey bro, cause of dope man, cause die kankerschotels. Broke it.
Boom,
broke it.
Boom. You can hear the noise. You can see this guy. Boom, they're hitting the car. So, and what did this guy do to deserve it? He simply said, "You guys are gangsters." He has a right to call them gangsters. He says, "You guys are gangsters." And they physically attacked him. And you know what? They proved his point. They proved his point. They acted like freaking gangsters. Like thugs. Israeli thugs. So to sit there and say, well, the Israeli fans, they just went there to enjoy a game, and they were attacked. It was a pogrom. It was anti-Semitism. Was there anti-Semitism seen in this whole situation? Yes. Saying cancer Jews and let's go do a Jew hunt. I mean, that's all just, it's obvious anti-Semitism, anti-Jewish sentiment, Hitlerian. I don't disagree with that. But to sit there and say that the Israeli fans were all just like peaceful, little gentle doves, they just, shalom, everybody. That is bullshit. And that's what the article is trying to show, and that's what I'm trying to say here. That is bullshit. They came there, they saw the flag, they said, let's pull it down because we're Israeli and we can get away with anything. So they pulled the thing down, and they think they can get away with it because they think, well, the West needs us. That's how they think, by the way. The West needs us because we're at the front line of the war on terror. So they think the West needs us, and... let's pull the flag down. And then somebody called me a gangster. What am I going to do? I'm going to act like a gangster. And this is what spurred the whole damn thing against the Israeli flags. And bad people got hit and good people got hit. People who had no interest in getting involved in this hooliganism, they also got hit. And that's the problem. So it says here that over the course of the night, police monitoring Telegram and WhatsApp began to detect messages of aggression and threats toward Maccabi supporters. According to a report produced afterwards by city authorities, the vandalism of the taxi was oil on the fire in a community angered by the city's decision to let the team play. So there was already anger that this team was playing in Amsterdam, and I don't think there should be anger if the team plays in Amsterdam. I think if a soccer team from a country that you don't like is playing in your country, you really have no right to be violent. You may not like it, right? You may be pissed off or whatever, but they're going to come and play a game. They're not hurting anybody playing a game. So it says here, police said that there was a call for taxi drivers to mobilize. So the taxi cab driver said, "All right, boys, get your friends together. We're gonna do something against the Israelis," and that's what happened. So it says here, Maccabi fans ran inside the casino, and security closed the doors behind them. According to casino spokesman Ilan Sluis, A bartender across the street said a group of about 50 people tried to break into the casino by rushing the doors for about 25 minutes. So the Israelis ran into this casino. A mob of people tried to break into the casino. And it says here that there was a text message here. It says Kobe Itzhaki, a Maccabi fan, had just returned to a hotel when he received a message from a friend at the casino. There's an anti-Semitic event here, said a 3:17 a.m. message reviewed by the Post. Turkish Muslims attacked Israelis who fled here, were locked inside the casino. Bring the police. Altercations took place in the other parts of the city. A video posted online shortly after 3 a.m. shows a man struggling to swim in an icy canal and being forced to say "Free Palestine." And I remember seeing this. There was this guy that was swimming in this icy cold water at night. He was trying to escape this gang of people who wanted to hunt Jews. And he said "Free Palestine" just to get them off his back. I mean, that's pretty bad. And this is the problem, is like I said in one of my prior videos, abuse always leads to abuse. If you go to a different country and you start acting up, guess what's going to happen? People are going to start looking at you and they're going to want you gone. And the problem is they're going to take out bad people and they're going to attack innocent people at the same time. Same thing goes with the rise of German nationalism. They said, okay, we allow these refugees in, but they're doing acts of terrorism. Some of them are rapists. Some of them are murderers. Some of them are just bad scoundrels. And what happens? The Syrians, or not all the refugees are Syrian. Let's be real here. A lot of them are from Africa, but I'll just say refugees. These refugees were allowed entry into Europe, and the Europeans welcomed them in. They were hospitable to them, and a lot of them did not really appreciate the hospitality. I don't know about a lot, but a good number of them did not appreciate the hospitality. And instead of appreciating the hospitality, they said, well, now that we're in this nice country, let's start pushing our weight around. Let's start abusing people. And so what that did was it sparked a nationalist outrage. And now you're seeing nationalism more popular now than it ever has been since the rise of the Nazis back in the 1930s. And that's very scary. Like I said, abuse always leads to other abuses. So if you're in a different country and you start abusing people, those people are going to get so pissed off that they're going to attack all the members of your ethnic group, and the good and the bad get placed under the reign of terror. And that's the problem. Imagine a world without religion. Yes, I can imagine it. It's called the gulags. There was no religion in the Soviet Union. And millions of people died. And it was actually far worse than in Islamic Ummah, really. At least with the Ummah, I just pay the jizya tax, and I'm free to practice my religion. With the communists, it was deny God or end up in a gulag. And they try to eradicate religion. So, yep, I can definitely imagine. I don't really have to imagine a world without religion, because we've seen actual examples of countries that try to uproot religion, and they all ended up tyrannical and evil. Man, I thought 2009, or not 2009, I thought 2006 was over. 2006, that was the era of freaking atheism. That shit's back. Or that shit's still here, man. That's sad. Anyway, back to what I was saying here. Why does your chat suck? I don't know. The thing about these live streams is that sometimes you have a really, really good live stream. Like last week, we had an amazing live stream. The week before that, we had a really good live stream. The week before that, we had a pretty good live stream. And the week before that, I think we had a shitty live stream. This live stream has been decent. It hasn't really been that bad, to be honest with you. It's not that bad. We still got 30-something people listening. And it's been decent. You know, you get some, I don't know, a little bit of atheism popped up here. It doesn't suck. No, it's been good. I think this live stream's been pretty good, actually. Those who know, they know. So my point is, abuses will always lead to other abuses. And so if you have members of a group, an ethnic minority that was welcomed into a wealthy country, and then certain members of that ethnic minority begin to abuse the society and take advantage of the politeness of the society, and they begin to rape and kill and murder and embezzle and all this stuff, then don't be surprised if you have a nationalist surge against your people. And then the good and the bad suffer, and that's the problem. We saw this with the Holocaust. You had the Bolsheviks in Germany, and they wanted Germany to become Marxist, and they were doing acts of violence, and they were shooting police officers. And then what happened? People voted for Hitler, and Hitler said, I'm going to purge Germany of communists. I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to get rid of them. And so what happened? They said the Jews are the reason why the presence of Jews brings the presence of Marxist. And they killed Marxist Jews, but they also killed Jews who had absolutely nothing to do with Marxism, and they murdered innocent people. And that's the problem. You see, that's the problem right there. That's why you do not support any sort of abuse of anybody. Never support abuse of anybody. Why not? One, it's evil. Abuse is always evil. It's always unethical to abuse. But secondly, because it will always spiral into more abuses. And if you abuse others, those people will eventually react violently, and it just spirals out of control. We've seen this literally with every single civil war in history. We saw this with the Lebanese Civil War, which eventually culminated into the Sabra and Shatila massacres of the Palestinians in 1982, and that was the result of this spiral of abuses that just continue on in a vicious cycle. This happened with some Kurds that Syria invited in when they fled the Iraq War. I didn't know that. Soon we in Canada will be in the 51st state. Yep, that's true. I think Canada is already a state of America. Reasonable immigration and dual loyalty restrictions are not abuse. Reasonable... Okay, hold on, let me read this again, because you're trying to tell me something. Reasonable immigration and dual loyalty restrictions are not abuse. When did I say that was abuse? I just joined. Are we still pretending pearl clutching there's going to be any real reaction? When did I say that was abuse? When did I say that reasonable immigration and dual loyalty restrictions are abuse? I would like to know when I've ever said that. I don't think I've ever talked about dual loyalty in any video on this YouTube channel. Restrictions on both. Great. When did I ever say that restrictions on both is abuse? I'm waiting. We're all waiting. We got the Elden Ring soundtrack playing in the background. Why does Walid look like a white Greek? I don't know. Palestinians are Greeks to a great extent. I mean, a lot of Greeks settled in the West Bank. Opa! Maybe that explains why I love gyros so much. Love gyros. Man, I could eat gyros every freaking day. I love that shit. Probably die from heart disease, though. We're all waiting, though. When did I say that restrictions on those things is abuse? Frosty being a bit cheeky. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the article, and I'm waiting for this guy's reply. In the morning, city officials convened an emergency meeting to discuss the overnight confrontations. They were concerned with the aggression of the Maccabee supporters and the reaction of the taxi cab drivers. So this really was the case of Jews and taxi cab drivers just fighting each other. That's what this was. It was like Jewish dudes who were into Bitcoin and finance fighting it out with Middle Eastern cab drivers. I mean, it's the war of the ethnic minorities, and the white people are on the outside of this going, Semites. You know what I fear? I think one day, I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one day in the future the white man saying, you know what? Because the Jews are always saying, we're the ones who are right, they did wrong. And then the Palestinians are saying, no, we're the ones who are right, the Jews did wrong. And I'm afraid one day the white man's just going to say, you know what? Fuck both of you. Get the fuck out of my country. Both of you. You're Jewish? Get out. You're Palestinian? Get out. I don't like any of you. Y'all can't stop killing each other? I don't want that bullshit in my country. Get out. We're the ones who are right. They did wrong. Don't listen to them. And what about you? We're the ones who are right. They did wrong. Don't listen to them. All right. Both of you, get the fuck out. I'm tired of hearing both of these arguments. Looks like you guys both fucked each other over. It looks like both of you guys did wrong to each other. But now you want everyone to think that your side is innocent. When it's not. The Israeli side is not innocent. The Palestinian side is not innocent. None of them are innocent. You can go far. You can just keep going into the history of this Israel versus Palestine thing. You'll find out. This guy did this. This guy did wrong. This guy killed this other dude. This guy killed this other guy. Okay, so you're not answering the question, when did I say those things are abuse? I talked about abuses leading to other abuses, and I brought up certain historical examples to demonstrate what I'm talking about. And you said that you asked me the question. You asked a rhetorical question. You said, since when is reasonable immigration and dual loyalty restrictions abuse? Or no, you said reasonable immigration and dual loyalty restrictions are not abuse. I never said they were abuse. And I'm asking you, when did I ever say they were abuse? I'm a Semite and shaking my head at all of this. I shake my head at all of this all the time. Every time I see these Semites killing each other, I'm just like, y'all making it bad. Y'all making it worse. Y'all making all of us look bad. That's the problem. It's like the black people who hate all the gangster culture from the hood. They're like, y'all making us look bad. Officials figure the situation, etc., etc. Dutch police say other messages that afternoon showed willingness to take action against Maccabee supporters and that the tone of the post hardened and anti-Semitic terms were used. Maccabee fans gathered in the city center at 1 p.m. Videos from the following 4 hours show people setting off flares and chanting expletives against Palestinians and Arabs. Officers broke up scuffles as pro-Palestinian demonstrators approached the crowd. And then the IDF, the Israeli guys were saying, ole, 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 let the IDF win and fuck the Arabs, some saying in Hebrew, while en route video shows. A rally planned in the days before the match got underway around 7 p.m. with several hundred demonstrators protesting Israel's war in Gaza. City officials had insisted that the protests take place beyond the immediate vicinity of the stadium. When some demonstrators tried to move in the direction of arriving fans, they were pushed back by riot police. So anytime they tried to get in, like anytime these people tried to get in, the police had to push them back, judging from the riots in England. I'm disgusted that Hamas supports HTS. Yeah, I wonder why that happened. I think it's because Hamas said, okay, we lost our Iranian ally, but we might as well just be nice to these people, because maybe Turkey can help us out. Abuses lead to abuse. Yep, that's exactly what I said, and I'm absolutely right, and I stand by what I said. And I'm waiting for you to show me an example of me saying that, going back to what you said here, reasonable immigration is abuse. When did I ever say that reasonable immigration is abuse? And when did I ever say that dual loyalty restrictions are abuse? We're all waiting. Yeah, abuses do lead to abuses. And I actually gave historical examples of that. I brought up the Holocaust. I brought up the Lebanese Civil War. I brought up what just happened in Amsterdam. Yep, those are all examples of abuses leading to abuses. Snapchat and Telegram messages hinted at plans for disruption. After the match, we will see beautiful things. Read one post from Mu Sektui. It's a weird-ass last name. On Snapchat minutes before the end of the game. Sektui did not respond to requests. So they said we're going to see beautiful things, and that meant beating up Jews. Oh my god, I got all this shit to read. So it says here that after the match, a Telegram group normally used by taxi drivers for traffic updates tracked the fans' movements from the stadium to the central metro station. Jews are arriving. We are waiting for them, brother. Be ready. This is the type of stuff they were writing. The Jews are coming, guys. At 11:45 p.m., Sektui posted the first of a series of images and videos showing Cobra firecrackers, some of which are strapped to bottles labeled as paint thinner. So they were taking bottles of paint thinner and then strapping them onto firecrackers or fireworks and using them as like little weapons, little bombs. And here they are. Here's the bombs. Firework weapons, whatever you want to call them. Shaked Amiran, 27-year-old Maccabee fan, said he was leaving the station when an explosion thundered near his group, causing some to panic and run. So they ambushed the Israelis. Some Maccabee fans began to pick up sticks, metal poles, and other objects they could use as weapons, according to videos. And Annette de Graaf, a local photographer who had been... So this woman is Dutch, by the way. This is not a Semite. Annette de Graaf, a local photographer, had been documenting the day and who has expressed support to Free Palestine on her Instagram account, told the Post that both sides were provocative at the station. She saw people on scooters harassing Maccabee fans and shouting "Jews." She said she did not understand what the Maccabee fans were shouting. When 3 people approached the group of fans on foot, she pulled out her phone to record the confrontation. Her video was widely shared online and in many cases described as an attack on an Israeli fan. The Post analyzed 2 other videos posted to social media of the moment and found it actually depicted Maccabee fans based on their clothing with Maccabee colors who chased and then beat a person in the street. So the Maccabee fans beat up a guy, an account confirmed by de Graaf, who has spoken publicly about how her video was initially mischaracterized. So here are the Maccabee fans. They're rushing out. Or I'm not sure if these are Maccabee fans. Some kind of fans. Okay. There's the violence. Inter-Semitic warfare, everyone. Away from the large group of Maccabee fans, smaller confrontations and attacks on Israeli fans occurred in Damrak Street and the surrounding alleyways, according to videos and witnesses. Amiran said he split off to avoid the violence and get back to his hotel, but was confronted by 6 people. So this guy tried to get into his hotel building. He got confronted by 6 people. He's like, "Hey, yo, man, I don't want no problems, man. I don't want no problems." So he got confronted by 6 people, including one who held a knife, asking, "You are a Jew? You're a Jew? You are from Israel? Where are you from?" He said the assailants shifted their attention to 3 other fans, clearly wearing Maccabee colors, and proceeded to beat them as he and his friend fled. So as his Israeli buddies were getting beaten, he was running. Maccabee supporter Dan Kopla, 33, said he had been among the first to arrive in the city center and was attacked by 3 assailants. One punched him hard in the ear before he escaped into an alley where another group of Israelis was scared to death. Their intention was not to kill us. Their intention was to humiliate, he said. As Israeli fans tried to get back to their hotels, the street felt like a war zone, said Ziv, a 46-year-old lawyer who was traveling with his teen son and daughter. So this guy had his 2 kids with him. I don't think he wanted any problems. He spoke on the condition that only his first name would be used out of concern for his family's safety. He said they took shelter in a KFC. I'm shocked they have KFC in the Netherlands. Then a hotel lobby, though police refused to escort them to the one where they were staying. So they said, "Hey, cops, could you take us to our hotel?" Cops were like, "Nope, sorry, you're out of luck. You got to walk the streets without any of our help. You got to walk the streets alone, and we can't guarantee that these guys aren't going to bash your head in because you're Jewish." So pretty dark stuff, guys. So he said, "I'm stuck with 2 children." So he wrote a message to a WhatsApp group, and he said, "I'm stuck with 2 children at the hotel we entered. In the hotel we entered. Please help me. The kids are hysterical, and the police are not ready to help." Some Israelis described moving with a subset of Maccabee supporters known as the Fanatics for protection. So the fanatic Israelis were protecting the more moderate ones. And it says here, but some pro-Palestinian activists said that with fans charging through the streets with pipes and sticks and little intervention by the police, it began to feel like the city was under attack and that it was going to be up to locals to protect it. So they said they had to protect their city from these Israeli Maccabee fans, these fanatic ones. So this is crazy. It says, Geert Wilder is the far-right populist who leads the country's largest political faction, blamed people with Moroccan heritage for the violence and called for perpetrators to be stripped of their Dutch citizenship. Okay, so if you want to strip these people of their Dutch citizenship, will you then agree to put all the Israelis who were involved in violence in Amsterdam on a permanent ban list, prohibiting them from ever entering the Netherlands? Fair enough, right? So it's fair enough that you say, okay, Moroccans who got involved in this violence, they should be stripped of their Dutch citizenship. Okay. Would you put the Israelis involved in violence on a ban list? On a flight ban? You can't. Not allowing them to fly into the Netherlands. That's my question. So that's the article. That's the last article that I have in the agenda. And yeah, that's what happened. So violence spiraled out of control. The Israeli soccer fans, they did violence. They went up to a building and pulled the Palestinian flag down, and then they attacked a cab driver. They bashed his car, and the cab driver said, okay. Cab drivers started writing each other. They started coordinating with each other on how to attack these Israeli soccer fans, and then boom, there was an attack on the Israeli soccer fans, and then it just spiraled out of control, and you had people walking up to Israelis saying, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? I mean, it's something that kind of harkens back to the past. Are you Jew? Are you a Jew? You're a Jew. We're going to beat you up. And this is what I mean. Abuses lead to other abuses. That's why you don't abuse anybody. And that's not the only reason why you don't abuse anybody. The only reason that there is to not abuse people is that it's immoral. But if you're the type of person that wants to look at consequences to determine whether or not something is moral or immoral, then we can say that abuses will lead to other abuses. And that's it.